So we're just gonna introduce ourselves. I'm Colin, and this is Luke.
Yeah, and we run keeping tabs, and we have a good time with it. And thank you again for coming on the show. So the
Yeah,
first
no
question,
problem, guys.
we gotta ask is, what's up, man? How do you not have a PS4 or
Yeah,
Xbox?
what's up with that, man?
You know?
Yeah, I mean, gaming isn't really too much fun to me if I'm not good at it, and I'm not going to spend the time to become good at it. And so it's kind of like one of those things where I just end up not doing it at all, even though I kind of like gaming, but
Yeah, it just gets old every now and then. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be spending too much of my time doing that. It's too dangerous. So
Yeah, we hear that.
It can get addicting for sure, man.
So
yeah.
you spent 2019 at RGVFC, and you played 19 games. So how was your USL experience, and then how important do you think RGV is for Dynamo player development?
Yeah, so I was in Houston, but I would fly out to RGV for games, and so it was kind of a unique experience in that way because other teams, they have affiliates, whether it's Portland 2, the T2 team, or Tacoma Defiance, the team for the Sounders, Galaxy 2. But all of those are either in the same market or it's, just a drive away. But RGV being further, it felt like every single game was an away game because I was getting on a flight every single time. So it was a unique experience in that way. But it was one that I think was very important for me last year. It was difficult to get many minutes with the Dynamo with Bees and Adam both being there. And so it was good that I was continuing to play games. Like you said, I got almost 20 games. And so it was really important for my season to do that. And I think that, a lot of guys, whether they're not quite ready to step in for the Dynamo or the opportunity isn't quite there just yet, with players being ahead of you, sometimes you need a bit of luck with that too. And so I think it's a great opportunity to go out on loan and continue to play games to stay sharp and kind of make up for what training doesn't do enough of for you in order to keep up game shape, for when your opportunity comes.
Yeah, definitely. Were you able to fly right in? Was it a straight flight to Rio Grande Valley?
Yeah.
All right. And so prior to the MLS Super Draft, had you been talking to many teams, or had the Dynamo really focused in on you? Or
yeah, so prior to the MLS draft, I'd spoken to a number of teams, Dynamo being one. Otherwise, it was New England Revolution, Columbus, Seattle, Orlando, and maybe another one or two. But a lot of the interest I was able to gain going into the draft was from the Las Vegas Combine, where Dynamo was at, along with a couple other MLS teams, and then the MLS draft or the MLS Combine, where every team was at. And so those were really important for me. And of course, the Dynamo were at both of them, and so they had a chance to look at me both times. And so they ended up deciding that I was right for the program.
Exactly. Hey, we thought you were right for the program.
Thank you.
So you played at University of Cal Berkeley, but you also played in the PDL. And so I just was like, was it difficult, playing the both together, kind of juggling both, or was it not, a big deal?
So I would say it's not a big deal. The reason why college players play PDL is because, first of all, the college season is only in the fall, which is too short. Ideally, you'd be playing in the spring as well, but you don't. another, bigger break is in the summer where you're not training together as a team at all for most of the time, let alone playing any games. And so because there's that big chunk of time where you're kind of idle, players, play for a PDL team and get trainings and they get games in that way. And so, because it was naturally a bit of an off time anyways, it kind of just worked naturally in with my schedule. I think, the problem wasn't juggling both of them, but, come time for, training with the team in preseason, there's a bit of, conflict of interest because the PDL team, of course, wants you to keep playing. Playoffs are coming around. And the college team is like, well, we're the priority. And so there's both of them are kind of pulling only at that period.
In practice, that kind of thing. I got you.
So what was your first official MLS game like? Did you know you were going to get playing time before the game? Did Tab tell you? Or what did he say when he said she win?
Well, you want to know about my first MLS regular season game or the game Open Cup? Because
you play in the U.S. Open Cup. I'm talking about the one in Orlando.
Yeah, in Orlando, no, I did not know I was going to be going in. I guess I had a small hunch just because Adam had gone down early in the game. And so I started warming up. And then from there, I just continued to stay ready. And then, he went down again and it was towards the end of the game. So, considering we had extra subs in Orlando, I figured I might get a chance, and I did. And it was still kind of a weird feeling. It was cool to go in, and it happens quickly. All you're thinking about is if you have, everything on, whether it's shin guards, you took your bracelets or whatever it is off, jewelry, and then you just go in and then just kind of have to settle in quickly because it's already going full pace.
I mean, we thought you played pretty well.
We thought you did great, honestly.
Thanks.
I'm not just saying that because you're on the show.
I appreciate that.
Go into and
Yeah.
So how was that whole Orlando experience? The whole MLS is back tournament.
Yeah. A lot of people have questions about that because it's kind of like
it's just something we've never been around before.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Yeah, it's kind of a futuristic concept where you're kind of in a bubble away from the rest of society. Yeah. But life over there turned out to be a lot more normal than I expected. Initially, people were a bit kind of on edge, I would say, about doing much outside of their rooms or, playing any of the games outside, etc., interacting with other teams, because two teams in particular, Nashville and Dallas, had a lot of positive cases, and it was looking like, things were not going well for the tournament. And so there were a lot of doubts in the beginning, but once that settled down, there weren't many positive tests, if any. And so people loosened up, and, it wasn't, in my opinion, much different than it would be had we have been able to leave the resort, because they had everything that we needed there. And a lot of times when you're constantly training and then playing games and doing all that, you end up laying low anyways. And so a lot of our time was filled with team meetings, meals, training, etc., and spending some time with teammates. And so there wasn't nearly as much downtime just sitting in my room kind of wanting to be outside as I expected. If I wanted to play some pool or, do something with some guys, I could do that. And so it wasn't as restrictive as I was expecting. And overall, I think it was well run, considering the circumstances. So I think it was a success.
You can call it a success. It's done well so far, I don't know. I mean, no big coronavirus has popped up on a certain team. So, that's pretty good. And
who was your roommate if you had one?
No, we didn't have any roommates. That was part of the protocol.
Okay. So is there like we've played in high school and stuff, and I know there's like, you have a certain group of friends, but is there like one guy that's like, your good friend on the team you get along with more than anybody else?
I would say I have a couple guys that I'm especially close with, but
Mhm.
I would say probably Jose Bizama. I'm really close with him. Um, I think one, you know, even though there's a bit of a language barrier, I'm learning some Spanish. But when he first came in last season, um, we kind of had similar personalities and just kind of got along and communicated the way we could. And we bonded over the fact that both of us kind of took our time after training to, eat and do whatever, sit in our locker before we went home because neither of us had anybody to go home to at the time. His family was in Chile and,
Yeah.
my family's in California and my girlfriend was in California at the time. And so we would kind of laugh because there were some guys who were in and out really quick after training and we were the ones taking it slowly. And so we kind of joked about that and we've gotten closer this season as well.
That's all. Well, that's awesome. We love to hear that.
Yeah.
So growing up, did you have like one particular soccer idol or one guy you looked up to and kind of mirrored your game after or anything like that?
I would say two players that I looked up to and idolized were Zidane and Ronaldinho. I think back then I was playing a lot of uh, midfield, and so I really like watching them, kind of copying what they did, in the backyard with the ball after watching their videos. And so those were two guys that inspired me.
Awesome. Do you have a certain pregame ritual or meal that you eat or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, usually I try to keep it simple so that I don't, get an upset stomach before the game or anything. I just kind of eat something like rice or pasta, a little bit of, chicken or whatever fish they have, and, have a lot of water. Maybe some other things, but not too much.
Are you cooking that
You
thing
you
up?
chef it up yourself?
Well, in Orlando, I didn't have to because meals were all provided, most of the meals. When I'm at home, I have a bit of a different kind of routine, but usually I'll just have like a bit of, somewhat plain pasta, a couple hours before the game. But I try to keep it light. I don't like eating too much right before games.
Yeah, I used to just eat like a peanut butter and jelly before every game.
Yeah.
Simple, gets the job done. Right?
We saw a tweet go viral from an MLS player about like the meals that were. I think it was Josie.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what was it?
No, it was Omar Gonzalez.
Yeah,
from Toronto as well. But
that's who it was. So what were the meals like? I mean, were they bad or like?
nah, the meals were good. Yeah, that created a lot of problems for the MLS, and they put out a lot of fires with that. But it ended up being fine. The food was good. It was no less good than it would be on another road trip, whatever. Maybe a difference was that it was harder to get other food. Otherwise, you could Uber Eats and stuff, but you couldn't just go out to somewhere and grab a snack. Yeah, but they did a good job with that. The food was good, and they gave us these. The team specifically gave us these weekly snack packs with a couple of different things. Of course, you couldn't choose exactly, but it helped, and so we were fine on that end.
So, getting back into the season, y'all are I know y'all got to wait for the rest of the MLS tournament to get back, and then hopefully we'll start another season. But, how's the excitement feeling? How's the team feeling? Y'all starting to bond a little bit together, kind of find your groove?
Yeah, I think, the quarantine time, it was not good in terms of, chemistry on the field. Off the field, we had a chance to pause and get to know each other better through the team meetings that we had over the phone. kind of talking about things outside of the field as well.
Yeah.
And then we had some time to start training again, went to Orlando, trained more as a team, and kind of had the unique experience of, you know, call it being stuck together essentially and in a bubble. And so it was another chance to get to know each other better. And so I think, you know, the team's feeling good. I think we're ready to play another game. It was kind of bitter how the tournament ended. There were some good points, but, you know, overall in terms of the result, we were disappointed. And so we're all looking to just play another game and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do. But y'all got it. We got it. We're H-Town.
Yeah.
A big thing me and Colin wonder, like, we talk about is that all the players, like, on the team, like, do y'all have a team group message, like, that y'all text on?
Yeah, like, we do want to know.
Yeah, we do. We have one with just the players.
Nice.
Without tabbing it.
Yeah.
Without the team admin and stuff, yeah, all that.
Yeah, nice. That was something we'd worry, like, we had thought a lot about. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right. So, you know, we know soccer takes up a large part of what you do, but what else do you like to do, man?
Usually I like to lay pretty low. I like spending time with, well, I guess recently it's been a little bit different from what I'd like to do. I'd preferably be spending a little bit more time with friends and so on, but I like to sometimes watch some shows and relax. I like to cook. I enjoy listening to podcasts. I have say that again.
Yeah, that's good that you like listening to podcasts.
Yeah. You know, I spend some time with the two cats that my girlfriend and I have. You know, they're a source of entertainment for me. Yeah, I mean, I like all animals, but a dog was a little bit out of the question with our travel schedule. Cats are a little bit better with that. And so
cats, like, you can leave a week's worth of food out for cats. You'll, you know, take their time. If you leave a week's worth of food out for a dog,
they'll eat it all.
they'll eat the whole thing in seconds. Like, just dogs are smart, but like sometimes dogs.
It's so funny.
It's like he's pretty tall for a dog, like 5'1" maybe when he stands up, so he can reach on the cabinet. Takes all the food, man. Every day I come home, there's a bag of chips on the ground. He ate a whole bag of hot Cheetos one time.
Oh man, that's not good.
I definitely understand getting a cat. Like,
yeah.
So how is it living in Houston? Do you love the city? I mean, is it?
Yeah. No, the city's grown on me. Initially, I was like, man, it's really hot, and I don't want to leave my apartment. You know, I wish I could be outside more because I like to, you know, be outside and do things. But I've gotten used to that part of it, and I think the city has a lot to offer. I'm a foodie. There's a ton of great food in Houston. Where I live, it's there's a ton of great grocery stores. Like, they're all by me. Like, I've got H-E-B, Sprouts, Trader Joe's, Central Market, Whole Foods, everything. And so, you know, like I said, I like to cook, and I get to pick and choose where I go to and get my groceries. And yeah, I mean, I think the city's got everything that I need, and so I'm enjoying it.
So was it a pretty dramatic change coming from California and then moving here to the down south, you know?
Somewhat, but I think the main difference was not in terms of you know, the environment, in terms of climate and, you know, being in a different state. It was more to suddenly not be around a ton of people kind of my age and with similar interests, because it was so easy socially in college. Like, I wasn't somebody who was always going out or going to parties, but, you know, I had a couple roommates or housemates, and I had teammates, you know, right by me. and I was always constantly around people that were my age and doing similar things, and so it was very different coming to Houston. And now it's like you got to go out of your way if you want to see somebody or if you want to meet people. And so that was a big change for me, and something that I guess I knew intellectually that it was going to be like that, but I wasn't really prepared what's next, like what do I do. And so that was something that was a little bit difficult for me in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, we lived in the dorms last year. It was our, my first year in college, his second year, and we get what you're saying. You're
you don't leave people. You don't. I'm about to move back in the dorm. And, kind of hesitant because you don't leave. It's sort of like that's your city.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in college, it was like I was trying to get some privacy in my private space because I even had, I shared a room with somebody. But now it's like the challenge is, getting to, wherever my friend is, coordinating a time, this and that. Like, it's not nearly as convenient as it was back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like every day there's not enough hours in the day. Like there's not enough time to do everything, That's just
crazy.
Yeah.
Ironically, I thought that once I was out of college and, only had soccer to focus on, that it wouldn't feel like that, but it still feels like that. So it's really just kind of how you spend your time and all that, you realize.
Definitely.
Did you always see yourself playing as a professional soccer player?
Yeah. Was that the dream from the beginning?
Yeah, I think I was around maybe 11 or so when I decided that's what I wanted to do. And of course, I didn't know what that looked like exactly, or like the process. I just knew what the end goal kind of looked like. And so I just kind of kept playing and, took it as I went. And then later it started to seem like it was more of a possibility, and, it became more clear the route for how it was going to happen.
So when you were young, did you watch much of the MLS, and did you have a favorite team?
I didn't watch too much of the MLS when I was younger. I do remember going to Earthquakes games because I lived in the Bay Area. Back then, the Earthquakes still played at Buckshaw Stadium, which was a local university stadium. And so I remember going to those games and watching them, and yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's gonna wrap it up.
I think that's about it. Thank you very much for coming on. You seem like a great dude, man. We're rooting for you every time you go out there.
Yeah,
you
man.
know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We hope it goes well. We hope everything's safe with the Dynamo for the next, the rest of the year. And thank you again for coming on, man. It's been an honor, seriously.
We really do appreciate it. We do have a favor to ask before you head off.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We're trying to, we went to the Fan Fest. We got a bunch of players to say this, or I'm blank blank, and you're listening to Keeping Tabs. And
yeah, so we just every time we get a new person, anytime, we're just seeing if they can just say it, for us so we can have it.
Like, I'm Sam Junqua.
Okay.
Keeping Tabs.
I'm Sam Junqua, and what?
And you're listening to Keeping Tabs.
And you're listening to Keeping Tabs?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Sam Junqua, and you're listening to Keeping Tabs.
Awesome, dude. Thank you again for coming on. I'm sure.
Yeah, you guys.
In contact, man.
I hope to stay in contact, man.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Have a great night.
You too,
man.
See ya.